Welcome to Close the Door and Come Here, a Song of Ice and Fire podcast with heavy leanings towards our two favorite characters, Dunk and Egg. Hey everyone, I'm Guile, and I am on Blue Sky as Guile in Subterfuge. And today I'm joined by Kama.
Hi, I'm Kama, Kama Splice on Blue Sky.
And Devin.
Hey, this is Devin, GD Harpo on Blue Sky.
And Chicky.
Hey, I am Chicky, and I am Chicky on Blue Sky.
And we are gathered here this evening to talk about Season 1 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And spoiler alerts for future novellas. If you haven't read those, we might be spoiling them. But we wanted to take some time and just talk about the season overall. And you guys, what grade would you give Season 1 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Well, or would we like A+? Is this letter grades like school?
Letter grade, yep.
A+.
Letter grade Catholic school. So like an A is a 93 and above.
We used to get like 4.0 and things like that instead of actual letters when I was a kid.
I'm not giving it an A+ because I felt there were a few things that I didn't quite love, but I'm giving it a solid across the board A.
I'm giving it a 4.0. It was, to me, like I think this was the peak. I can't imagine anybody ever doing better with any of George's work than this.
Yeah, same. A+ for me, like, even the things that, like, there were just a couple of things I wish they'd put in, but that, like, nothing ever took me out of it. And I just love everything about this season from top to bottom. So, yeah.
I would give it an A. Is there a favorite? What's your favorite episode of the season?
Oh my god. I don't know. It might have been like 3 for me, actually. I think. I can't remember what the names of them were.
3 was the Squire.
Yeah. I would pick episode 4, which was kind of, Dunk's Dark Night of the Soul and the, Are There No True Knights Among Us? Like, that was my favorite of them.
I think I'd go with the Squire, but very close. Actually, no, I'm tied between the Squire and this last one.
And mine is, this last one made it really difficult, but either episode 4, which was 7, or or this last one, one of those two.
Do you think that, would you have enjoyed this more as a 3.5-hour movie, or were you okay with it being a short weekly series?
God, how did you know I've been thinking about that all day?
I didn't.
No, I think the series, it worked really well. I think the half-hour episode time worked perfectly. I think a 3.5-hour movie would have killed me. I don't like long movies where I'm just like constantly. No, I like this.
You don't like movies like with an intermission? That's not your jam?
No, I call those movies you have to pack a lunch for, and it's rare that I like those. It's too long. I think I liked, why I think I liked this as a series? It was like, we had our, the episode, we had time to sit with it, to think about it. Next week there was another, it gave you a little bit of a pause to sort of digest what you'd seen.
Yes, a 3.5-hour movie would have been brutal, particularly like I have to sit in the house and watch it. There's so many other things I could be doing in my house, not watching a 3.5-hour movie. So yeah, I think it was perfect to do it as a series with 30-minute episodes, and I mean they stayed right around that with every single episode. So I thought that was perfect.
It was nice to have something to look forward to. That said, I mean, I do enjoy Gone with the Wind on TCM when they would actually have the intermission in there. And it was like, go to the bathroom, get a snack. It was like, oh, I love it. Perfect lifestyle movie. This is a tough one. Dunk or Egg?
No, rejected.
You cannot make me choose. I refuse.
I almost said Egg just by reflex, and I stopped because I couldn't. I can't.
I'm gonna say Egg, but I mean, I would say Egg on the page too. So nothing against Peter or, the portrayal of Dunk or anything. It's just I always loved Egmore, so I'm, could not be more pleased.
Yes, I've always loved Egmore as well. But I think I can't choose in the show. It is like Dunk. Not that I don't. I mean, of course, I've loved Dunk on the page as well. But there's just something about Peter's portrayal of Dunk. It's one of those things where, as many times as I've read the novellas and I have a picture of Dunk in my head, that picture is now gone. And like this Peter is now what I see. And so this was like very big for Dunk for me. So yeah,
when I picture Dunk, I think I'm actually picturing like He-Man, a combination of He-Man and Prince Valiant.
Jesus.
There's a particular artist picture that's in the illustrated illustrated A Night of Seven Kingdoms, and that's how I've always pictured Dunk. And Egg, I mean, Dexter looks like I thought Egg looked because he's just a bald little boy.
Other than the floppy hat, he's totally exactly like Egg. Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm going to ask about the actors specifically, a similar question. So just keep that in mind. But, in the spirit of the Olympics having just ended yesterday, who are your gold, silver, bronze medals for our side characters in the series?
Oh, God.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, there's so many, but I got to give, I don't know their names as people, but the guys.
This is for the characters, not the actors. We'll do the actors next.
I mean, I really love Lionel, and I loved Raymond a lot. I thought those were great, and I think the guy Maker probably.
Okay. Anyone else willing to?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Steely Pate. I'm gonna say silver. Like I love Steely Pate.
That's a good call.
He was very, very good. Tanzel bronze, and my goodness, gold is very hard because there's so many. But I think this last episode, Maker, it tied it all together for me. So I'll go Maker.
I like Steely Pate. I'm gonna add him in as like a silver.
Okay.
Three-way tie for the bronze or something. Oh God, it's so hard as far as the secondary characters. I mean, I can't discount how much Baylor on screen came to life for me in a way that he never did in the novella. So I feel like I have to put him in at least at silver, but I kind of think that the whole season was kind of held together with Maker, and like it's surprising that is the case, but I think Maker's probably my gold. And then I don't know for bronze it's tough because it's like you've got like the Lionel and Raymond side of like friendships, and then there's like Steely Pate and Tanzel who are really people like regular people and not highborn that also came even more to life on screen. I don't know. I couldn't choose a bronze. I think it's the Targaryen brothers are at the top for me.
So my bronze is definitely Lionel Baratheon. My silver and gold are between the Baratheon or between the Targaryen. Oh, there's Darren too though, and Arryn. My heart wants to say Maker, but I do think Baylor's my gold medal and Maker's my silver medal. Just to see Baylor break spear, like, oh my God, it's Baylor. Like, and just have him be like as good as you want him to be was kind of special. Like, I liked that a lot. So maybe this is even harder now if we think about the actors in the same question. How are we feeling?
Oh,
or maybe it's easier.
No, I think it's harder with the actors because so many of them. I mean, you talk about like Arryn is an important character, but Fenn Bennett's portrayal of Arryn really sold some of these scenes in a way that I think could have been difficult if you didn't have somebody playing a really fine line with that character. I mean, he never went too far in a weird way, is what I'm going to say, which made it all the better, I feel like. And then obviously Bertie and Sam, as you know, the Targaryen brothers were pretty incredible. I don't know. It would be tough to choose who.
I'm going to say Sam for gold, because I thought Sam for gold, Bertie for silver, and Henry Ashton, who's Darren, for my bronze.
You love him.
Oh, very good.
I just think he's such an interesting, haunted take. Like, I loved it.
I reblogged a gift set of Darren, and I was like, this is Egg's middle-aged brother. Like, that's the only thing that bothers me, is I just don't feel like he looks the right age at all.
Like, he could actually be Maker.
Yes. Yeah,
he could. Dexter is my goal.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was excluding Peter and Dexter from that question.
Oh, okay. Because they were going to be my
we couldn't do that either. But also Dexter. If we did, Dexter would also be my gold. Yeah.
Yeah. They were going to be gold and silver, and then bronze is like a 6-way tie. But without that, I do think the Targaryen brothers, oh gosh, what are their names? I just forgot.
Sam
Bertie
is
and Sam.
Maker,
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, both of them, and then it is the Targaryens. I think it's all of them.
I think it's that Lionel is such a fun part to play. It's almost like, is that acting or is that just like a really good time? You know?
Are you just having a good time?
Right. Like, it's the whole Mamma Mia thing. Like, is that acting or is that just everyone having like the time of their lives? Like,
and he was having the time of his life. You could tell.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And I mean,
and
honestly,
shout out to the horses. They did well.
And shout out to the guy who Sir Arlen's actor was actually great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness.
Good call.
Yeah, and actually the guy that played the master of the tourneys, with his like, you know.
I was gonna say, it's so weird we never got a touch back in with him in the last couple of episodes. That is the one kind of weird thing.
He's the guy who plays Mr. Collins in The Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. It's like, oh my god, it's that guy. I love that so much.
I saw that movie in the theater and never again, so I do not remember at all who the Mr. Collins
I watched that movie on like a very regular basis.
Oh no. I'm a 95 P&P girl. I can't see
the piano music when he's coming up.
I'm with Chicky, 1995 or get the fuck out.
Really? Not even like
95.
adorable golden retriever, Mr. Bingsley?
Watched it once and I was like, that's it. Never need to see that again. That wasn't worth my time.
Oh my god, I love it so much. Anyway. Sorry, so that guy is also the master, and they should have. I would have liked them to check in with him and the Ashfords in general, because I'm mildly concerned about their financial well-being. They seem like good sports. Like,
I mean, like, speaking of this being an Olympic year, it felt kind of like when the countries throw the Olympics and go bankrupt. Putting on the Olympics is kind of felt like what you were watching with the Ashfords.
It is. The Ashfords are like the Rio, like they show like the vines creeping in on the venues and stuff like that is them. Oh God. Oh, poor Ashfords. What did you think? Like, was there a particular action sequence? Like, what was your favorite scene, I guess, overall, if you can think of one scene that you enjoyed the most in here?
God, you know what I think kind of an underrated and that played so incredibly well was actually the scene where Aerion attacks Tanzell. I feel like that was so much more visceral on screen than anything that, you really quite pick up from the books. That for me was a very tremendous scene, and the egg reveal at the end, that was pretty cool to me. I really loved that whole thing.
I liked the scene. It's either in episode 1 or it would be in episode 2, I think, where Dunk is overhearing Maker and Baylor talk about Maker's kids. Like, that was so foundational to the rest of the season, and to, like, that's the best we got of Baylor and Maker's relationship. And that, again, I thought was so important to the rest of the season, that I loved that so much care, and like the acting in that scene was so incredibly good.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, and I'll go with the jousting in general because there's so many other good scenes and how well they were acted. But I just thought they did a really good job with the action of the jousting, and seeing that on screen. So I thought that was really well done.
Anything stand out for you, Kama, in particular?
It was a small scene, but I really love the one where it's just a bonding moment with Dunk and Egg, where they get the eggs to make the awesome breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's just, I love this series so much. And some of that was just, and the other scene I really loved was them talking about sort of like where they thought they would be,
when Egg says I could be happy in a place like this.
Yeah. I just, yeah.
So kind of along those same lines, do each of you have a favorite Dunk and Egg scene, like either the two of them together or separately, like kind of honing in on those particular characters, and if there was a favorite scene for them for you?
It's for me, it's when Egg goes to visit Dunk in the when he's in the cellar right after everything with Tenzel and he beats up Arian, and Dunk is trying to be mad at Egg, but he can't help it, and that's just like their entire relationship. Is that he looks at Egg and he's like, yeah, I can't be mad at you. It's just bad luck. And so I really love that scene, and Egg's acting in that scene, like just how ashamed and upset he was at everything that had happened. So I think that's the one for me.
Oh, that was an amazing Egg scene. God. I think my Egg scene might now be this maybe I'll stab Arian scene. That was pretty fucking amazing too. God, Dexter is so good. Just
I like the scene where Egg comes back after trying to train Thunder, and Dunk is pissed at him, but then kind of gets over himself and is teaching him how to sew. I thought that was great. How about you, Kama?
All of those. I can't pick this one. You can't make me.
We took all the good ones already.
I know. Is there anything that was in the novel that we missed out on in the show that you wanted to see but didn't?
Yes. The one thing I wish they had done was Egg's signature line, hit him, he's right there.
He's right there, yeah.
Get him. He's right there. Oh, yes. That, and from the last episode, Dunk and Maker's second meeting, being out by the under the elm when Dunk's outside. I wish they would have done that. That would have been really nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Anything for you, Chicky?
No. God. I'm just going to tell you right now, I never in a million years expected to get like a quarter as much of the book content as we actually got. And no, I'm thrilled. There's nothing I'm like, oh, I really am sad this didn't happen. I mean, it's like, even like a knight who remembered his vows and stuff. I just feel like the content was there, even if it wasn't specifically that. So I'm happy as a clam with this fucking season.
Any commentary on some of the criticisms of like the juvenile, the more juvenile moments?
It's funny, when we were talking earlier about the movie versus doing it as a series, I was thinking how I'm interested to see how this plays when I binge it, which I absolutely am going to do. And I'm interested to see how the more, I keep calling it junior high boy humor plays on a rewatch. I loved it at the time. I feel like it just kind of set a tone that was, it's not that serious, and there's an earthiness to it that you can't overlook because of the choices that they made there. And while it's not necessarily my favorite thing to see, like, I kind of understand what it was doing to set the tone, and I think it probably was the right choice. I guess I'll maybe weigh in again after I do a rewatch, do a full binge.
Mm-hmm. I don't like poop humor, so like the first episode shitting, I did not care for. But big dicks can be nice, so it evens itself out.
I mean, I don't like the pooping humor either, although I will say I did like it literally shitting on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
There for that. I don't know. I know a few people I follow on various, whether it's Blue Sky or Serialized, which is where I record TV stuff. There were people who commented about not liking the moment with the shitting. And I kind of get that, but I went into this with such low expectations that honestly, I was like, that wasn't really going to turn me off.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the next season if they continue with that or not.
So we see a lot of ancestors of some of the characters that we know in the main series here. Is there a ancestor-descendant relationship that like surprised you, or it's like, oh no, they totally got that ancestor of that person like spot on, or oh, I can't believe so and so comes from so and so. Like, are there particular character pairs that reached out to you at all?
I don't know. I mean, there's enough distance that I really didn't think about it like that. I know there's the Fossaways and, we have the Baratheons and all that, but I really felt like they were their own people, and there's enough of a remove, like these people aren't even grandparents, right?
Right.
I mean, I guess the closest would be Aemon, who we don't see in Egg, but, not really. I don't think.
I think, obviously we see, Brienne and Dunk, there's certainly parallels and shared characteristics there.
But we don't know that. We don't know exactly what that relationship is. And it's such a remove. I mean, I see things in Dunk that clearly I see in Brienne, right? I get that. But I don't know. I guess I didn't think about it that directly.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was watching the Valar scene in the last episode and thinking how I was like, oh, you always forget that Jon is a Targaryen. And I for a moment I was thinking, oh, is Jon meant to be a little bit of a callback to the Valar type Targaryens, even though they're not his direct, he's not their direct descendant.
I see so much of Book Jon in Egg. Like, just like, when you remember how willing Book Jon is to like think and like kind of accept or like talk to the wild, understand the wildlings, understand like a whole world that he's never been a part of, and like how kind of open he is to that in a way that Egg is kind of open to the world.
Jon and Dany are both kind of iconoclasts. Like Egg is. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Egg is so much more carefree than Jon. It would be hard to. I was trying to think that about Egg and Dany, and I was like, I don't know. They're very different people. Like as far as their personalities, it's not.
I think of the Jon. So it's like there's something in. I think it's in the very first book when Jon gets that. I was going to say a pigeon. The pigeon from. He gets the raven.
They're raven. Those are very different birds.
It's the discount rates, slower speed. He gets the letter from Winterfell that Bran is okay, and he's like running through. He's running through the wall basically, and he like lifts Tyrion up in the air because he's so excited that Bran's okay. And like there was I felt like a little bit of Egg there, like that enthusiasm. And I mean, I don't know, Kam, I'm shocked that you don't see Maekar in Stannis.
Oh. Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I know that the Baratheons and the Targaryens are connected, but I mean, the middle child thing, certainly. Yeah. But, I know a lot of people who are middle child, I don't know.
Just the like there's a humor there that they both have, and then just the exasperation with like the dumb shits of the world kind of they sort of have. Like there's
I don't like I think if these characters were closer in generations, I guess I would be more inclined to be looking at it that way.
Oh, so yeah, we should probably. We don't know for sure that Lionel is a Baratheon. How he fits in the Baratheon line, do we?
Well, I think in the books it's implied that they call him his heir, so I would assume either his son or his nephew. But I think that they've aged him up so much that it's almost has to be like his grandson or great nephew that marries Egg's daughter at this point. Like it just wouldn't. It seemingly wouldn't make sense. But yeah, it's like, I don't see a lot of, I mean, I guess you could see some of Bobby B in Lionel, but, not the Robert that we see, the Robert that Ned knew when they were young. We never saw that guy. The charisma of Renly, but,
sense, I think. Yeah. I mean, he does have that sort of good time, athletic kind of character to him. But they were different people. Like, I think Lionel seems a little more insightful than Robert, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
directly insightful, but at least a little more inward gazing. Like when he's talking about the Targaryens, I mean, it's and his comments about, look, Sir Humphrey and Beesbury and all that. I mean, I don't see Bobby B as that.
No.
Self-aware.
No, I mean, maybe
Renly. There's a little Renly in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Do we have like an overall favorite moment from the series? Like, what's the thing that when you think about this 6 months from now, what are you going to think about?
Oh man, I think I'm going to think about a lot of things. The final scene of episode 5 where Dunk is holding Baelor was just like so wrenching. I think the emotion of that will stay with me for a long, long time. And I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but it just might be the scene that just kind of haunts.
I think for me, it's going to be Egg leaning back into like his father in that scene.
God.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. That Egg going to kill Aerion and that entire scene. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll go with that. But there's a lot here. There's a lot to chew on, a lot to think about.
So much.
And let's just take a moment to acknowledge how amazing it is that there is so much. When, as we were going into this season, we were really concerned that there wasn't enough story for 6 episodes. Like, that was actually a genuine concern that not just us, but the entire fandom kind of had. And like, they clearly just, they knew exactly what they were doing as far as pacing this out, the little additions that they made. I mean, like, just very good work.
We were right, though. We were right about what beats they'd be hitting when. We had that down.
Have you guys seen the guy on TikTok who is covered the tournament as a jousting journalist?
I've seen some of his, and those are funny.
Yeah, and like just, now they're talking about the inequity of, a prospect like Dunk being overlooked just because, all these rich knights get, the proper training. And like, it's been fun to watch fandom like revive itself in a, almost entirely positive way.
Or it was. I get the feeling there's a lot of controversy at the moment. I just have not connected with it. I wanted to come into this episode.
Yeah.
I've been off Tumblr in any regular way for a long time. I mean, I go on to post about the questions, and occasionally I'll see like, a mutual or somebody has something I'll like, but I've been on there a fair amount with this. It's been kind of cool watching people gradually discovering the series, because I think a lot of people were like really skeptical and weren't watching, and then, but I do know how this works with fandom, any fandom. So there's always a backlash.
Oh yeah, it'll eat itself. For sure. I mean, I guess the good thing is that the 3rd season of House of Dragon is out this summer, and I mean, I'm sure like that seems like it's pretty well hated, so like I can get the vitriol maybe there, and be happy again next year for season 2 of the show. So kind of thinking forward to season 2, we assume And, it sounds like it is going to be an adaptation of The Sworn Sword. So, what are like a couple of things from A Sworn Sword that you have to see to be happy with season 2?
I would very much like to see a get him, hit him, he's right there, but I don't know if I'm going to. It's a small thing, but I love that.
Well, here's my thing. I feel like I've been pretty happy with the political stances that the production team has taken so far, and I hope that they take the correct stances with water rights in the second season. That's what I'm going to say.
Yes. I was talking to a friend, obviously not mentioning, my secret fandom life here. And I was talking about, I know someone who really, really hates the whole water rights thing. And we were talking about that. So that would be cool.
Obviously, I mean, also they better do the final Duncan Rohan scene in a way that does Jamie and Brienne's book scene justice too.
Yeah, I mean, how much, are they going to hit us over the head with this is Jamie and, actually, how are they going to let us know that these are their ancestors? I feel like it's important that everyone knows that these are their ancestors doing this. Hello?
No, because in the promotions what they're going to talk about is that Rohan is Tyrion's ancestor, and they're probably not going to mention as much that she's Jaime and Cersei's ancestor. I mean, even though that would be a logical deduction for anyone watching, but
right.
I don't know, but I feel like they gave as many nods to Brienne in this as they possibly could, so I feel like we'll probably get some good stuff in season 2.
What about this rumor that Henry Cavill is playing Daemon Blackfire in season 2? Is there any possible?
Yeah, I think it's real. It's funny. It's a funny choice.
Really?
Yeah, so they say.
Wow.
Job
okay.
He's slumming to TV.
He's done that
He does TV.
The Prime series or whatever.
He did that Witcher, The Witcher, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Lucy Boynton, who is in some things that I don't know, is supposed to be, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, was Rohan. She looks, fine. I mean, looks like a redhead. That's really all that, can she be snarky? Because that's really the only requirement. Are there, in our chat about the last episode of this season 1, we kind of talked about the need for the connecting thread between that season and this season, just given that we're going to lose, presumably the supporting cast of season 1. So, what do you want? What can you envision kind of that connection looking like? Just flashbacks or,
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they will let Egg have flashbacks in season 2, or if they will just stick to this kind of it's all Dunk's POV thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, at some point...
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking through to a mystery night and thinking about how do you do that without Egg's viewpoint on certain things. It's pretty, difficult to do.
It feels like a second season would be a good place to make that leap to maybe include Egg in that, but who knows? I don't know if they will. It's interesting to think about.
We're going to start running into issues with, as Dexter gets older, with doing flashbacks if he's not the appropriate age, but yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. I mean, keep him small. No, just kidding, Dexter. Because realistically, he'll be 13 for the mystery night?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably about right.
Appropriate.
Right. I mean, do we need to see Bloodraven in some flashback or some form in season 2 to get who he is in season 3? That's going to be a tough one to try to...
It would make sense.
They're going to have to do some kind of exposition because we all know who he is. We, and most of the people listening, probably have a good sense of the Blackfire Rebellion, or at least a sketchy kind of knowledge. But they're not... I mean, there's a bunch of people watching these shows who have no idea. So you have to make it clear what's going on. So in this first season, there's hints of that, talking about the Blackfires and, whatever Egg says about them. But I think I think definitely for next season, if they're going to adhere closely to the book, it's going to need to be clear what's going on and why Sir Eustace, what side he's on and all that. So these guys don't seem to be afraid to try things that the other guys were adamant that they weren't going to do. So I think I have faith now, which is probably
hear me out.
We're going to be dashed. But, right now I have faith in them.
How do we feel about Henry Ashton as John the Fiddler?
You mean the guy that played Darren?
Yeah. I mean, they're cousins. They could look alike. Right?
I guess.
They dye his hair at the start, right?
Do you like Game of Thrones did with the Tommen character? Just cast him as a different Lannister?
I genuinely feel like I have a hard time picturing anyone other than that guy as John the Fiddler. I just really feel like he's John the Fiddler to me. But we're definitely skipping ahead. So it sounds like for season 2, Chicky needs water rights.
I want the right position. I want the correct position on water rights. That's what I want.
So to be clear, you don't want a thoughtful. I don't want to balance.
I don't want to balance. I want to represent the rights of the proletariat here. That's what I want.
Okay. I want a spicy Rohan. Anything else we have to have for season 2?
I mean, if they're doing this, if it is Henry Cavill as Daemon Blackfire, I am assuming that we're seeing this through adolescent Dunk's eyes. And so I actually, now that I've think about it, I've decided, yes, I definitely want Bloodraven, and that it would make sense for him to be in it. And then that would mean that we might get more Birdie and Sam actually in that. Because they were.
I mean, they're supposed to. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just don't know how they don't have those guys in season 2. I guess I do want a spicy Rohan, but I also feel like those guys have to be in season 2. It just doesn't. I guess they're filming in Northern Ireland, so I don't know how that's going to work for a parched, a parched land and maybe Dorne, it's sort of like
portion of the Reach. Yeah, I don't know
like how that's going to work. But I guess we have to have faith. And
climate change, but this is not a plot point, but I liked very much how they added in more female characters.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I'd like to see that continued. Because honestly, when we first started looking at the cast list, it was just the woman playing Tanzell and everyone else was male. And I think they did a nice job of just, adding in parts here and there to just kind of make it a little more representative. I would like to see that continue.
And I mean, in the Mystery Night, we absolutely need to see that Herrenthal bat lady. We need to see her. Danielle Lothston, right?
Lothston, yeah, that's such a hard name to say. Lothston.
Oh, and then in season 3, we would get baby Walder Frye too.
Oh God!
Oh, that guy.
Would you kill baby Hitler?
Yes, of course I would. What? As we're wrapping up the season and thinking forward to next season, kind of any last thoughts from anyone? I know this is a little shorter discussion, but I know we've really.
I mean, even though I managed to keep my expectations so low before the first season, I feel like I need to talk myself back into that because I feel like it would be tough for them to deliver on the second season in the way that they have delivered on the first season. So if anything, I just want to temper my expectations for the next season. That's my overriding thought about season 2.
I've often thought that A Sworn Sword was my favorite of the novellas, and I know it's not. The Mystery Knight is, but I always remembered that I much preferred A Sworn Sword to The Hedge Knight, so I'm really having a hard time thinking about how I could like this coming season more than I like the last one. So I'm, I have to be open to missing the characters that aren't going to be there, and I guess embracing a lot.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to throw yourself into an anthology type concept, I guess, with this show, which is a little tough when he loved everyone in the first season so much.
Yeah, I'm just all in. I think from the moment I heard they were doing Dunk and Egg, I'm pretty sure I was all in, like maybe a little apprehension, but from episode 1, I've just been all in. So yeah.
Well, I guess we don't have any mail for this episode, or did we save any mail for this episode?
Oh, yes, we do have mail. All right. So our mail, we have first piece of mail from Live Scene 8420 from Reddit. Hello. In the second season, what scenes or characters would you like the show to expand on? Love your podcast, Dunk and Egg forever. Or maybe Dunk and Lionel.
Oh God, which characters would I like to see them expand on in season 2? I mean, I would love it if we got a little Aemon flashback somehow. I mean, he got one name drop, I think, the entire first season. I think we've established we would love to get any Baylor and Maker flashback that we possibly could. But for people who are actually in season 2, I've been thinking how fun it will be to see how they cast like Septon, Sefton and stuff, because those are kind of like the comic relief type characters.
The comic. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What about Devin? You know those novellas so well. Who are you most looking forward to?
The Septon is because the first thing that comes to mind is when Dunk first meets Lady Rowan, and it's like her. The Septon's there. Is it her, what they call like her good sister?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think of her name. So like those are the characters I'm specifically thinking of in like that particular scene. So like that's what I really look forward to, is like that entire introduction. What's the tall guy's name? I can't think of his name. But yeah, that guy as well. I don't know why.
The guy that Dunk fights?
The guy that Dunk fights.
What is his stupid name?
And I feel like it is something stupid, and that's why I can't remember.
It is stupid. It is stupid.
I want to say it's like, I'm thinking like Lonnie Longsmith or something like that.
He's an infield, right? It's an infield.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is something like that. So yeah, those are the characters I'm thinking of, and really look forward to seeing how they do that. And I mean, I would imagine the casting directors are the same season to season, and they did such a great job with this. I don't see why they wouldn't with the subsequent seasons. So yeah, I really look forward to that.
Yeah, I have every faith in them as well.
All right. Our next piece of mail from I Dream of Spring on Discord. Question. This is for the season wrap-up pod. The Sworn Sword is a much smaller story than the Hedge Knight. We don't have the big reveal of Egg's identity, the Targs in play, Baylor's death. Any adaptation, do you think they'll bring the Blackfire Rebellions and Blood Raven into the story before George does it in the third novella? Will season 2 lose some of the steam without these larger stakes? Is it a good time to dump some Blackfire exposition on the audience before the events of season 3? So we already kind of touched on this, but yes, I do think, particularly reading that question now and like what we've already talked about, I do think that'll be a good way to stretch some of that story from that second novella, is to really begin to talk about the Blackfire Rebellions and what's going on there. And I just think, like we said earlier, like we have to see Blood Raven, right?
Yeah, so, because we definitely see him in the third novella, so I don't know why they wouldn't try to include him in flashbacks of the Blackfire Rebellion or the first Blackfire Rebellion. I kind of get the feeling, I'm wondering if what Lionel was talking about in the 6th episode and the way that they did, change the timing somewhat of Dunk himself being at the Redgrass Field, or the aftermath of it, is them setting up for a possible 5th season if they get that far, being like the second Blackfire Rebellion or something. Maybe that is where this is all going, and that might be what the through thread is there. So yeah, I definitely think an expansion on the Blackfire storyline is a good call, and it looks like from the spoilers that we're getting, is that there will be some Blackfire stuff in the second season.
Oh, nice. Our next question was from Win on Discord. Now the series is finished, what was your favorite moment overall and your favorite performance, which we touched on earlier in the episode, answering those questions. But Win also asks, what was your favorite Brienne reference?
Oh God, I actually loved it that they had those tents. And was it the first episode where there was like a sun tent and a moon? Like they had suns and moons at the tops of a couple of the tents, like just those little things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the shield definitely is Dunk's, but the shield feels like such a good reference to Brienne. And then this just overt thing of Lionel talking about Tarth as though he lives there, which he doesn't, was funny.
Yeah, it was the shield for me throughout. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think Brienne in that scene. So yeah. All right. Our next from Boko Hair on Discord. And again, we've also kind of answered these questions, but love your series MVP, whether the new additions added or took away from the novella, how accurate it was in the spirit of the novella, and how much is Dicks and Dragons on the scale of 0, decent amateur treatment of the material, to 10, I guess they kind of forgot about the shield. So we've done series, kind of our series MVP and all of that. But as far as additions, or we kind of did touch on additions and takeaway as well. But I think the spirit of the novella, I think they kept that. I felt that throughout. This is I love, as much as I love the main series, these novellas are my favorite thing that George has written, and I love them so much. And so I think this first season really kept in spirit of the novella. So I couldn't be any more pleased with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. If anything, it almost, God, this is so sacrilegious to say, but I feel like they actually embodied the novellas so well that they've actually enhanced the entire story for me. And I can't even believe I'm saying that, but I mean, it was just like a fulfillment of what the novellas were on the page. It was spectacular.
Yes, agreed. All right. Our next piece of mail from Dory on Discord. Thoughts on the writing of women, all in all, and thoughts on the costumes in the series versus other franchise series. Any major did we have to have that moments? Example, Dunk taking a shit to the sound of the Game of Thrones scenes.
I'll give my did we have to have that was actually in the last episode when the maester sticks his finger in Dunk's wound and smells it. That was actually the most ick factor for me of the entire season. I was like, oh no.
I just thought of one. Did we have to have that when Dunk are there no true knights among you? And the guy stands up and farts. It's
oh my God, yeah.
Was that necessary? I think I actually completely wiped that from my mind until just now. So yeah, didn't need that. But yeah, all in all, there wasn't much we didn't need here.
I really loved you know what? I liked the costuming a lot. I really loved, what's his name? Stefan Baratheon, or Stefan Fossaway, sorry.
Fossaway.
I loved his armor. I know he's horrible, but I loved his armor. And I thought the costuming kind of captured, it felt like it was in the same wheelhouse as the Game of Thrones stuff, but it was better in a lot of respects. I thought they did a good job with that.
Oh yes, and talking about armor, I loved Aerian's armor. Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah,
I thought it looked really good. Absolutely ridiculous, but it looked so good.
Yeah, it was insane in the right ways.
Yes, and other costume thing, Egg. Whenever he would when he first put on his royal garb, and just how much he changed as a character. To me in those moments, I really liked that. My mom. She sent me a picture. It's from the episode where right after the reveal, and he goes to see Dunk, and he has on the first time he has on that black doublet, I guess you would call it, with the red trim. And my mom just sent me a picture of him. It's like, oh my God, look at him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that as far as costumes go as well,
and with his little beret caps with some of those too.
Oh yes.
The costuming was all spectacular in that it was more concerned with character to me, which made it all the better. I mean, I love the fact that they kept Dunk just looking rough the whole season. Even his armor was very, just workable, serviceable stuff, from Steely Pate. It clearly functioned correctly, but, it was just, it didn't look amazing. And that actually was so good for the story. I feel like a lot of the choices there were amazing.
Yeah.
And did Dory, was it Dory that asked about the writing of the women in this season too?
Oh, yes.
I mean, there was very sparse writing for women because there were so few women in it. I liked what they did with Tanzelle. I kind of liked that they made her a more of a performer. I think that actually ended up being a really good decision for like a visual medium. I'm interested to see what happens in season 2 because Rohan gets so much more of a kind of role than any of the women in the first novella.
Yeah. She's a more I'm trying to blanket on the word here, but yeah, it's not. I would say like they did a good job in this season of like sketching in female characters, but they didn't really. There's nobody in there you can really sink your teeth into. Whereas I think you can with Rohan.
Yeah. I mean, like we had, I guess I forget the Ashford girl's name, and then there was Rowan, the sex worker, and then there was Tanzelle, and those are really the only. What's that?
Rafe or Raph.
Oh, and then Rafe, yeah, in the 5th episode, and those are really the only women.
Those are pretty much the only female parts going forward, almost, other than Rohan.
Yeah, well, and her sister-in-law, I guess, but yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the Mystery Knight literally has just the bride.
Talk about a sausage fest. That is
oh gosh, that is all men.
Unless they can manage to figure out ways to like weave in some of these characters, which maybe they can. And I would
maybe like in the Mystery Knight they could cast a trans actor or just give us something, just a little gender diversity, just mix it up a tiny bit.
Well, kind of like they did we got those sex workers in like the first couple episodes who were like almost like a Greek chorus, you know?
Yeah.
I think they're probably.
I mean, could you even have?
You're not going to have. Rohan is probably, of the 3 books that we have, she's probably the most in-depth female character, right?
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt she is.
Yeah.
I say that with a sour face. You can't see it, but trust me, it's there.
Well, I think, the She-Wolves of Winterfell is supposed to be like all the Lady Starks, essentially, squabbling over the Stark inheritance. I mean, if that is almost totally written, that sounds like a female forward story. And then the Pennytree one, it's in the town. I don't know why there wouldn't be women there.
They surely have women there.
I mean, weddings I guess would also normally have women, but do we have any other mail, Devin?
Yes. 2 more pieces of mail. Our next one from Pretty Thief on Discord. What are your hopes for next season? Places to improve, anxieties about what might change.
Oh, yeah, I have anxieties about the quality changing, as I mentioned, but that's just me having been burned a million times, so.
Yeah, I mean, George next year George could be writing angry blog posts about these same people, so you never know.
Almost guaranteed.
Let's hope not.
That's a thing that could happen. There's also I feel like the show, in a way, was in a sweet spot, right? Because, there were a lot of people who got burned on Game of Thrones who weren't going to watch House of the Dragon, but, were kind of intrigued. I don't think it got, the people I work with, for instance, there were a bunch of people who were like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But, I think it seems to have been, almost like a sleeper hit. I don't know if that's actually true.
It's done really well.
But, sometimes success can ruin things, so we'll see.
Especially with TV. Especially with
yeah,
TV, success can ruin things. I don't know. I guess maybe the one saving grace here might be that they had completely written and already begun to shoot season 2 before they were done airing season 1, so they may not be too far up their own asses at this point. That might help us with the season 2 being pretty good.
I'm going to continue to trust them until they give me reason not to.
That's fair.
I think that's where I'm going to sit for now. Yeah. Our last piece of mail from I Dream of Spring on Discord. Were you surprised by the amount of Tarth and Rianne references throughout this season?
Honestly, yes. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't, because I do think that you could have taken this material and literally hired Gwendolyn Christie to have the character of Brienne telling the story as a framing device, and it wouldn't have been like a crazy decision. So, I mean, I think you could have gone heavy into, I mean, and maybe you make that choice if they hadn't butchered, the ending of her story like that. But I mean, you could have had a ton of Brienne and it wouldn't have been completely out of place.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say again, I'm really happy they didn't bring Gwendolyn Christie into this, but yeah, they could have, I guess.
I'm glad that they took their own, I'm glad that they made their own choices to separate themselves from the Game of Thrones IP as much as they possibly could. Like the musical choices, the color, the pageantry, and just in general, a lot of the spirit of it was appropriately different from the main series, as the books are. Like, not just like shitting on the show there. It's just like, no, these books are, really different, and they justify their own feel. So I was happy that they made those choices.
Yes, agreed. And that was our last piece of mail.
Any last comments before we wrap up season 1 here?
For me, just again, love this entire season, everything they did. As I said, I love these novellas so much. And I think they nailed it. And it's also we're in 2026. The first episode I did with you all was the Hedge Knight Part 1. I was so nervous to send, y'all had the call. I'd been listening and y'all had the call for if anybody wanted to guess. And I was like, I love these novellas. They're about to start them. So fuck it. I'm going to do it. And that would have been July of 2016.
Oh my God, 10 years. Nearly 10 years.
Wow.
And y'all wanted to have me back and was occasional gent, and now I'm just gent. So I just really thank you all and this story for bringing me to y'all. So yeah.
Thank God. Thank God you did. Thank God we got you. We found Devin and we just sunk our hooks into him because you're such a good walking lore for the whole series too.
And just, I mean, it's been really, I mean, not to get super gushy, but I mean, it's been super fun to podcast with you all with new content. Oh my gosh, I never really thought we were going to get the chance to do that. And
I know,
it's just been, it's fun.
It's been one thing I've loved so much with this little series has been that the focus has been on the small folk. It hasn't really been, I mean, yes, Egg is a prince and everything, but it's more, we're in 2026 and I've really appreciated the energy and the read that this show has had. And it's been heartwarming and a nice little ray of light,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in every sense, this show has been an unexpected joy is the term I'm going to use. It's been delightful, and it's been something to really look forward to for the last 6 weeks, which there hasn't been a lot of lately. And I really am thrilled. And I wish to God that Ira Parker would have taken on the original series. Although looking at him in some of these interviews,
he would have been 5 years old.
Yeah, it started.
Yeah. He kind of looks like he actually he can play Egg. Anyways.
Honestly.
Well, thank you all for podcasting through these episodes. Thank you all who are listening. Our next set of episodes are going to be actually we're doing a reread of the Mystery Knight. So we're not saying goodbye to Dunk and Egg quite yet. So if you do have, additional comments or questions about the series or want to dig into the Mystery Knight with us, you can reach us at closethedoorend@gmail.com. You can send us questions on Tumblr, and, you can also do that anonymously if you're more comfortable with that. We totally get that. Or you can find us on the Jamie and Brienne subreddit and ask questions there. Like and subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And, we're talking about maybe trying to re-engage our Patreon and give our Patreon subscribers something a little bit more special. So support us on Patreon, or if you have ideas for things that might prompt you to take the leap to that, we would genuinely love to hear them. We have loved having you guys along for the ride now for like 13 years or something freaking insane like that. Podcast moment. I can remember before the podcast started when we got some kind of confirmation that in season 3 of Game of Thrones, they were going to do the bath scenes. Like, I don't know what we really thought they weren't going to, but, in retrospect, maybe that wasn't as crazy of a thought. And, like, the fandom was so excited that, like, someone was playing We Are Family on like a tiny chat and like everyone's whooping it up. And that was probably like 2013, right before the podcast started. So just like we've gone through the ringer of Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire content, like the world in general, and like everything. So much stuff. And we're still trucking away with these stories and with these characters, and it's been fun to get into these guys, and can't wait for season 2. Any last words before we close the door? And
I mean, it has been an honor, and like never give up on your favorite IP, I guess, is the story here, because it can surprise you.
Yes.
Wow. I love it. That's like ultimate like modern capitalist thing. Never give up on your favorite IP. Well, I feel like there's literally nothing else to say after that other than I am closing the door. Get out. Oh my God, what an iconic statement. Holy shit.
That was great.
That's so great. Like, oh my God.